Good morning, dear hearts. We are on lesson 194. I place the future in the hands of God, and not just my future. I place the future of this world. I place it now in the hands of God. This is obviously a lesson of great trust because I trust God. And as our money tells us, in God we trust. In the United States, it says that. This lesson is also important because it is our last giant stride. There is a total of 7 giant strides in the workbook. They only appear in part 1. And those are lessons 61, 66, 94, which is I am as God created me. First time we got that one. Lesson 127, 130, 135, and now today's lesson, I place the future in the hands of God. Today's idea takes another step toward quick salvation, and a giant stride it is indeed. So when someone says, well, how do you know it's a giant stride? Well, they always tell us. They always tell us this is a giant stride. This is a large step forward for us. And indeed it is when I place the future in the hands of God. So great the distance that it encompasses. It sets you down just short of heaven with the goal in sight and obstacles behind. We spoke of obstacles the other day. Your foot has reached the lawns of heaven, and we come and the laws of heaven that welcome you to heaven's gate, the quiet place of peace where you await with certainty the final step of God, which was in the conclusion of yesterday's lesson, that God will take this final step himself. Do not deny the little steps that he asks of us. So we're waiting now for the final step that God will take for us and towards us. How far are we progressing now from earth? How close are we to approaching to our goal? How short the journey still to be pursued? How much we are progressing from earth? We are progressing to the point where heaven and earth will disappear into the oneness that they are meant to be. So that is, we are coming closer to heaven, and that is why we are progressing from earth. Accept today's idea, and you have passed all anxiety, all pits of hell, all blackness of depression, thoughts of sin and devastation brought about by guilt. Accept today's idea, and you have released the world from all imprisonment by loosening the heavy chains that locked the door to freedom on it. That door reappears multiple times throughout the course. What do we know about that door? What we really know is that even if the door appears to be wrapped in chains or bolted tightly, that it is always open, because our brother, and as I called him in the past, the celestial doorman, stands by that door and keeps it open. And that door is open as long as Christ lives, and Christ lives forever. You are saved, and your salvation thus becomes the gift you give the world, because you have received. Whatever I have received, I give. There is no circumstance, there is no doubt in that whatever I receive, I must give. Why must I give it? Because that's the only way I can keep it. Of course, this is way different from the thinking of this world. In no one instant is depression felt, pain experienced, or loss perceived. In no one instant sorrow can be set upon a throne and worshiped faithfully. In no one instant can one even die, and so each instant given unto God in passing, with the next one given him already, is a time of your release from sadness, pain, and even death itself. There's all kinds of noise going on in the building. So in no one instant, and each of these instants becomes a holy instant. And as yesterday's lesson told us about, having that clean slate to go from 1 hour into the next without holding on to any grievances. So it would be holding on to no sorrow, no pain, not even a thought of death are we going to take with us from one instant to the next, from 1 hour to the next. We come with wholly empty hands, with a slate completely clear and ready to have God's word written upon it. God holds your future as he holds your past and present. They are one to him, and so they should be one to you. God is only in the now. All the time that doesn't really exist within the mind of God. But here in earth, in this world, we have, as I've said many times before, we have taken what is whole and chopped it up into segments. And we've done that with time. So with time, we have a past, we have a present, we have a future. But to God, there's only one time, and that time is now. So God holds our future as he holds our past and our present. They are all one to him. And so they should be one to us as well. Yet in this world, the temporal progression still seems real. We are still believing that there is a progression of time. There was what was, and there is what will be. And so you are not asked to understand the lack of sequence really found in time, but you are asked to let the future go and place it in God's hands. And this might not be easy for us to do, to simply let go. Come with wholly empty hands, but to simply let go of our attachment to sequence in time. In truth, because there's only now, everything is happening at the same time. We perceive segments, we perceive clocks, we perceive hours, minutes, seconds. There is only one time, and that time is now. Release the future, for the past is gone, and what is present is freed from its bequest of grief and misery, of pain and loss, becomes the instant. When we let it go, it becomes the instant in which time escapes the bondage of illusions, where it runs its pitiless, inevitable course. Then in each instant, which was slave to time, is transformed into a holy instant, when the light that was kept hidden in God's Son is freed to bless the world. I am the light of the world, and indeed, a giant stride. So understanding that indeed you are the light of the world. Indeed, there is only one moment, there is only one time, and that time is now, and that time will always be now. And so this now moment comes into folding into one instant to the next, to the next, to the next. But it is always going to be a holy instant where all things are held in light. When the light that was kept hidden in God's Son is freed, now he is free, and all his glory shines upon a world made free with him to share his holiness. We share our holiness. It is again a gift. Our holiness is a gift because I am as God created me. And in understanding that, now I will only want to share that because, again, it's the only way I keep it. I keep the awareness of who I am, my identity, my true identity, when I share it with others. If you can see the lesson for today as the deliverance it really is, you will not hesitate to give as much consistent effort as you can to make it be part of you. And yesterday is about our practicing, and that, we practice in the morning, we practice in the evening, we practice as long as we can, and then give a little more. And so that's continuing for today. As it becomes a thought that rules your mind, a habit in your problem-solving repertoire, a way of quick reaction to temptation, you extend your learning to the world. What we share, we strengthen. And as you learn to see salvation in all things, see the blessings, see the light, see the forgiveness in all things, see the at-one-ment in all living things, so will the world perceive that it is saved. What worry can beset the one who gives his future to the loving hands of God? What worries could we possibly have when we turn the future over to the hands of God? What can we suffer? What can cause us pain or bring experience of loss? What can I fear, and what can I regard except with love? because salvation will come to me, and it will be filled with the light and the love of the home that I am coming to now. For he has escaped all fear of future pain, and I've found the way to present peace and certainty of care the world can never threaten. There's nothing in this world that can threaten the peace of God. When I have the peace of God, I want the peace of God, and then everything else will simply fall away. He is as sure that his perception may be faulty, but will never lack correction. So, and I will always be free to choose again when I have been deceived, to change his mind when I have made mistakes. I will always be called back. If I wander off, I will be called back. If I make a mistake, if I have an erroneous thought, a wrong-minded thought, I will be given the gift of correction. Very gently it will be offered to me. Place then your future in the hands of God, for thus you call the memory of him to come again, replacing all your thoughts of sin and evil with the truth of love, the law of love. Think you the world could fail to gain thereby, and every living creature, all living things, not respond with healed perception? Who entrusts himself to God has also placed the world within the hands of God, to which he has himself appealed for comfort and security. We bring all living things with us as we give everything over to the hands of God. He lays aside the sick illusions of the world along with his and offers peace to both. I want the peace of God, and I will truly have the peace of God when I place everything of the future in the hands of God. We are saved indeed, for in God's hands we rest untroubled, sure that only good can come to us. If we forget, we will be gently reassured. We will be called back. We will accept an unforgiving thought. If we accept an unforgiving thought, it will soon be replaced by love's reflection. And if we are tempted to attack, we will appeal to him who guards our rest to make the choice for us that leaves temptation far behind. No longer is the world our enemy, for we have chosen that we be its friend. And friend is capitalized. So we're choosing now to be the friend, the Holy One, the blessed child of God to this world, to bring this world the peace and the security and lift it up out of the pain and the sorrow that it has been experiencing, because we have been experiencing it here. We tear down all of our grief fences today as we place the future in the hands of God. And I think that's it for today. So I hope it helped. So good morning to all of you who are having coffee. Notice in the comments. Thank you for being here, each and every one of you. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, please smile at the bright, bright future that we have today and forever as we place the future in the hands of God. Namaste.